Hello again, it's Ty. Today I thought I'd do a bit of a flip through of one of my favorite decks. It is the Animal Totem Tarot by Leeza Robertson, illustrated by Eugene Smith. Just wanted to do a bit of a walkthrough, show you quickly each card, and just tell you some of the things that I love about this deck. This is one of the tarot decks that I probably use the most, both for myself and for clients. I find it really insightful, especially because I think most people can relate at least a little bit to animals. And if you know a little bit about some of the animals featured in the deck, you can then relate it to the meaning of the card. And it pairs really well with other decks also. And just quickly, this is the box and the guidebook that it comes with. I had those featured in another video that I've done previously, the video about identifying counterfeit tarot decks. So go check that out if you want a bit of a more thorough look about the publisher and that sort of thing. This isn't really an unboxing, we're just going to get straight into the cards. So first up we have the Fool. We have the Grasshopper, which is making a literal leap of faith, which I love. The Magician, the Fox. You've got all your traditional magician element symbols there, your sword and cup and pentacle and wand. Fox being one of my favorite animals, so I collect foxes. High Priestess. I really like how they've got the moon and the little details of the glints on the web there. The innate wisdom that a spider has, and also the sort of associations with femininity. The Empress. I really love this version of the Empress because I just think depicting this like beautiful, peaceful cow in a field is such a good like depiction of Empress energy. I think this idea of being like beautiful and fertile, productive, you know, the connection to the earth, all of the green, the element of earth. I just think it's a really sweet way of illustrating this card. The Emperor, his stash of fruits. Hierophant with the 2 keys. I love this sort of background that they've put in here. The Lovers with the 2 swans. I like how we get a black swan and a white swan. And you've got your trees in the background there and the reflections at the bottom. Lots of depictions of duality in this one, which is one of the really important meanings of that card. The Chariot. Again, I really like this version of the Chariot. The sort of speed that's depicted and the willpower. Strength. This kind of ox or bull pulling the cart. It's a very sort of literal interpretation of strength in some ways, but touches on some different parts of the meaning that other decks maybe don't. The Hermit. I really like this Hermit as well, the praying mantis. It's just gorgeous. The sun there between the antennae. It's like that version of the lamp. Wheel of Fortune with the ladybird. The grapes being a kind of abundance symbol. Very Dionysus kind of symbolic. Justice with this big crane or other bird. The wind sweeping behind. The Hanged Man. Again, I think that's a really interesting depiction, just because it's thinking about the idea of just perspective and stillness versus any kind of being bound. So I think it's a nice perspective on this particular card. Death, who we have seen before in my video about the meaning of the Death card. It's nice and gory. Temperance, this lovely rainbow flamingo scene. The land and the water. Devil. These traps, sort of similar to the way there's normally chains in this card. The Tower. Big anthill, termite mound kind of thing, with lightning striking in the background, starting a bit of a fire. Just think that's a lot of really good elements that you could read into in that one in a reading. The Star. This is probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. I just love the way that it's got these shimmering kind of details all around the pearl in the middle of that oyster there. And I think with the lighthouse in the background, it's just a really beautiful example of the meaning of this card. The Moon. Again, we've got an owl there, which, most people, we'd associate that with wisdom. So then this is looking at the wisdom of reflection and the unseen. I think that's, again, a gorgeous, gorgeous way of symbolizing that. We've got these two trees as well, similar to the two pillars in the original. The Sun. Again, a really cute depiction of what it's like to be in the sun moment. Just straight chillin'. Judgment. The World. This is one of my favorite The World cards as well in any deck that I own, just because I love this idea that to whatever animals live here, this is the world, but then we, looking at this perspective, think of the entire planet as the world, and perhaps someone else thinks of an even broader sort of scale as being the world. So it's like both completion and being part of a greater whole. I just think that's a really, really nice way of showing that. Ace of Cups, the Kingfisher there. So getting into the minor arcana now, the cups suit, a lot of them are obviously water animals. So you've got the Two of Cups here with the Hermit Crab, which I like as being a bit of a finding the perfect pairing. You know, the Hermit Crab has to know when to swap its shell and move into a new one and how to find the right one. A lot of nice little details in the background there with the corals and things like that. The Three of Cups is these three puffins having a great time. Four of Cups with the octopus. Sunken treasure. Five of Cups with the capybara. The kind of mourning. Six of Cups. These playful otters in the stream. Seven of Cups with all these lovely gifts. This one obviously different to the ones you've just seen. This is, you've got dragonflies rather than being a sort of ocean animal or a water animal. Nice modernizing as well of the sort of things that we see in the traditional Seven of Cups. You know, here we've got cutlery, breadsticks, that sort of thing. Eight of Cups. This, I think, salmon. swimming against the tide, you know, in the night, following the moon. Nine of Cups, butterfly. I always think that the Seven and the Nine of Cups have some similarities, so I think it's interesting that in this deck they're both depicted with these flying insects versus the sea animals. And the Ten of Cups with the little penguin family. Of course, penguins being known for having really close-knit family groups. Page of Cups is this sneaky sort of seal or sea lion in the background here. Very subtle, which I think is nice as it's the page. Knight of Cup. Queen of Cups. King of Cups. Beaver. I think that's an interesting one because this is he's controlling the flow of water, or you know, controlling making water do what he requires of it, which you can kind of analogize to the King of Cups having some control over the emotional realms, which I quite like. Moving into the Pentacles, obviously these are going to be more like earthy sort of animals, and the very first one is this dung beetle, which I think is a really great representation of the Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. It's giraffe. Four of Pentacles. I quite like this one. You can see it's the one that's on the cover of the guidebook there. This one is, again, just a really lovely way of showing you've got the pentacle growing, which is an analogy you often hear about the suit of pentacles in the tarot, that the Ace of Pentacles can represent like the seed of something, and then the steps along the way are bringing these seeds into growth and fruition. So seeing this depicted as this squirrel like burying these acorn type of things, and one is starting to grow. I just think that's a nice way of showing that. Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. I love chickens. Look how cute they are. Seven of Pentacles. With these deer fighting. Eight of Pentacles. That's always one of my favorite cards as well. So I like this version of it too. I like the idea of the steps and the relative ease with which the mountain goat can get up what looks like an impossibly high hill. The Nine of Pentacles, this old tortoise. Ten of Pentacles, bunny family. Page of Pentacles is this alpaca with all of its wool, which I think is a really sweet way of showing that as well. This is like the young business person, or you know, person at the beginning of their productive task, which is it's, you know, producing these wool. Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. I love this Queen of Pentacles. I just think this shows like the kind of bliss that comes with being connected to the earth and connected to the body, all that good Queen of Pentacles energy, and the having enough to share it around, you know. King of Pentacles. Onto the suit of wands now. You get the Ace of Wands, the Firefly. Two of Wands, Stingray. Which I think is an interesting juxtaposition as well, with stingrays having, I believe, a lot of them kind of barbs, similar to these two sharp ones. Three of Wands, this woodpecker. So you can see in the wands you get a variety of types of animals as well. Four of Wands, this guy that makes a very fancy, impressive home. He's a bowerbird. Five of Wands. Six of Wands with the bee. Very kind of celebratory looking. The medal or ribbon in the middle. Seven of Wands with the little skunk. I really like this one because I think it really shows the feeling of if you're in the center of a Seven of Wands situation. It feels a bit like you don't know what you're doing wrong. You just, everyone's pointing their finger at you. Eight of Wands, showing the speed of the Eight of Wands with the horse, which I love because a lot of the time the Eight of Wands in a lot of decks is a little bit nondescript. You know, it often just shows 8 wands, which is not the most inspiring of images, let's say. And so, like, this one, I think, is a little easier to explain to querents when you have it come up in a reading. Nine of Wands, proudly on the top of the mountain there. 10 of Wands with the snail. I really like this one. Also, it reminds me of Game of Thrones. Page of Wands, the salamander, which I think is great because that is also, the salamander is imagery that comes from the original tarot deck too. Knight of Wands, ostrich, which is a very swift animal, so I like what they've done there. Queen of Wands, the lioness. And King of Wands, the Tasmanian devil. And then into the swords, we have Ace of Swords, the panda, chewing on a new idea. And the Two of Swords. Three of Swords with the elephant. I love this one as well because that does show the sort of sadness and mourning that we might be trying to depict in the Three of Swords. And then as well, a lot of people really love elephants, so I've had this one be quite a personable way of, or a gentle way of explaining the meaning of this card when it comes up in a reading. Four of Swords, this little toad underground. Five of Swords with the lovely echidna. Six of Swords, sugar glider. Seven of Swords. I like this, it gives the sort of sneaky impression that this card often has. Eight of Swords, which is so interesting because I believe this is a mole, which has, as far as I know, they're not blind, but they're perceived to be blind by most people. They have limited eyesight. So that's an interesting way of depicting that when the Eight of Swords normally has a person with a blindfold in a very similar sort of setup or arrangement. So I just think that was a really clever way of doing that. The Nine of Swords. This is like a nightjar of some kind. Ten of Swords. The pigeons on the roof. I like this one because it shows animals in a modern kind of urban or suburban setting where animals don't live on our earth unimpeded or unaffected by humans. So you can kind of see the toughness and the resilience and the cycle of the life of city pigeons, you know? Page of Swords. Knight of Swords. Queen of Swords. And finally the King of Swords. Which again, the eagle, a lot of people might think about like the justice system or depending where you're from, different imagery of freedom and that sort of thing, which is quite associated with the King of Swords. Swords, justice, the law, intelligence, the king being the top of the suit, and the eagle being a kind of almost apex predator. So again, just a really nice way to depict that. I'll show you the backs as well while we're here. So the back is this repeating pattern of the animals and flowers and birds. It's not the same upright as it is reversed, but I don't tend to be very bothered by that. You don't really notice it because it's such a small pattern. So if some of them are reversed while you're shuffling, you kind of could notice if you were looking closely, but not a huge deal. But yeah, it's on really nice cardstock, nice and smooth, nice and glossy, not sticky, just really good quality. Lovely quality deck, lovely artwork, beautiful box, beautiful book. So thank you for looking through it with me today. If you would like to get a reading from me anytime, my contact details will be down below. Otherwise, remember to subscribe for more tarot and oracle videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.